Federal agents in the US have clashed with demonstrators in Los Angeles as police used tear gas and less lethal munitions to disperse massive crowds protesting Trump's immigration crackdown and his deployment of the California National Guard against the will of the state's elected leaders.
미국 로스앤젤레스에서 트럼프 대통령의 이민자 단속 및 주 정부의 반대를 불사한 캘리포니아 주 방위군 투입 강행에 항의하는 대규모 시위가 벌어졌습니다. 이를 해산하기 위해 현지 경찰은 최루탄을 비롯한 이른바 비살상탄'을 동원했고 이 과정에서 연방 요원들이 시위대와 충돌하는 상황도 발생했습니다. Okay, so the less lethal munitions part we should add is quote unquote. That's what they're calling it.
Well, it's what they refer to, which are rubber bullets.
I see.
So these are bullets that should be fired into the ground as warning, and they are meant to be safer in some ways, but they can still hurt and they can still kill.
Okay. All right, tell us what's going on.
We have a very hot situation at the moment. These are, it should be said, these are protesters, not rioters. I think these two words have been used a lot, but these are people just trying to say, we don't want these people taken away. Okay. And that's why I think the leaders in California have got very frustrated and very upset that Trump has federalized the National Guard. It's the first time it's happened since the mid-60s, since the Civil Rights Movement, that a president has unilaterally brought in the National Guard. But yes, 2,000 of them were deployed on Saturday after clashes between the demonstrators and and ICE as well as LAPD. It's a huge escalation. We've not seen anything quite like this for decades. It's unsure what will happen now, but certainly I think the Governor Gavin Newsom has been very critical of Trump over the past day or so. I think LA is in uproar. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. California National Guard, 캘리포니아 주 방위군이고요. 이게 투입이 됐다라고 할 때는 deploy라는 동사를 써서 the California National Guard have been deployed, as you said. Why? To disperse the crowds.
Yes. Deployed to dispersed. The alliteration is interesting here. Yeah, if we disperse a group of people, we send them on their way separately. So instead of being a group, now they are individuals. So we can use it for people, or we can use it also for objects in the sense of we're splitting up a group into its individual parts.
해산하기 위해서, to disperse. And how do you spell this word?
disperse.
네, 해산하다. And against the will of the state's leaders.
Yeah, if we do something against the will of someone else, it means we're disobeying them. We're doing the opposite to what they want. For example, children may often behave against the will of their parents or school teachers, meaning they don't do what they're told. But this is quite formal language. So I wouldn't normally use this maybe in everyday conversation, but use it when we're talking about two different groups who are disagreeing about something and the behavior is different to what the other group might expect.
지금 children sometimes act against the will of their parents. 아이들이 가끔은 부모의 뜻을 거역하는 행위를 하죠. 그래서 against the will of 누구의 뜻을 거스르는 걸 얘기합니다.
Yeah, if we change one word, we get an expression that's more common, and that's against the wishes of. So we talk about against the wishes of our parents or our doctor. For example, if the doctor says, you should stop eating so much sugar, and yet Paul goes and eats 10 donuts, he's going against the wishes of his doctor.
그러네요. Alright, against the will of도 봤고요. 앞에 disperse도 있었습니다. 다시 한번 제가 헤드라인 읽어볼게요. Federal agents in the US have clashed with demonstrators in Los Angeles as police used tear gas and, quote, less lethal munitions to disperse massive crowds protesting Trump's immigration crackdown and his deployment of the California National Guard against the will of the state's elected leaders.